What's up, everybody? Welcome to the You Are Story podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Hoff Jr., and I know I've been out of the cut for a minute. I've been gone for a minute. Just a little updates. I'll talk about it on a solo episode more, but just to kind of update y'all, I've been doing a lot of stuff with work, doing a lot of stuff in the ministry, doing a lot of stuff just outside of the podcast. So I had to take a little break for a little bit. But, you know, it's always good to take breaks sometimes. It's always good to just rest a little bit, because if you just keep on going and you keep on pouring into something, you're not going to have anything left to pour into it. So it was a good couple months off. I was just working on a certification for work. I got my PE certification. Whoop, whoop, God for that. And just a lot of things that I'll address on a later episode. But again, welcome back to the You Are Story podcast. If you're a new listener, pretty much what this podcast is about, we just have different people come on and they share their stories, share some of their experiences in life, share some things that they've been through. And by hearing their story, it can help you with yours, which just affirms the fact that you're not just part of the story, but affirms the fact that you are the story. And, you know, that's what we're here to do. So I decided to do something a little different for today's episode. If you follow my personal Instagram, not the podcast Instagram or the reclassified Instagram, you may have seen that I put a question thing on there. The question thing you can do on Instagram, like how you can have people type in questions or just type in what they want and stuff like that. So I put something on there just to do like a Q&A type of episode where people can send questions, ask anything about anything, and we just talk about it. And so I felt it was only right that I have my homie back on here. Y'all already knew him from one of the earlier episodes. I believe he was on episode 3. I got my cousin, my homie, my day one, my brother from another mother, my brother from another aunt, my cousin, Joshua. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm straight, man.
Good to be here.
And then if y'all see, I got another special guest here to my left. I'll have her on an episode by herself at a later date in the future, but I felt it was only right I had her on here. So I introduce to some, present to others, my sister, my best friend, Gabriel Hoff. How you doing?
I'm great. Great to be on here and, you know, on the podcast for the first time, showing my face and getting into it. Yeah,
at the end we might have to have her sing a song because she can sing. But no, I'm just kidding. We can do that. We can do that some other time.
Maybe on another.
Yeah, but so I'm glad y'all both here, because I feel like over the past few months, us three have had like a bunch of conversations about different things, different topics. You know, we've been talking about relationships. We talked about, you know, work. We talked about just the culture and life and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I wanted y'all both on here, because I feel like we all kind of have a lot to say about some of these questions that came in. So I'm not even going to hold y'all. Without further ado, I'm not even going to waste any more time. Let's get to some of these questions that y'all sent. And we're going to keep the people who sent these anonymous. I didn't ask if anybody, you know, wanted me to say their name, but just in case nobody wants to have their name, you know, attached to the question that they asked, we're just going to keep it anonymous and just address it. But if you hear it, you'll know that you sent the question. So shout out to y'all who sent questions and stuff like that. But the first question I got, trust in friendship. And so that's just what it was, trust in friendship ? And so the way I interpreted it was, you know, what does it look like to have trust within a friendship? You know, how does that look like? How do you live that out? So, I mean, what do y'all think about that? What does it look like to have trust in a friendship?
Yeah, you want to go?
I'll start off.
Trust in a friendship. It's like a tough question. Like,
yeah, because it really makes you think, because it's not something you really think too much about. It's just kind of a natural thing. For me, I guess with me, when I think of trust in a friendship, I think of accountability. Like someone who's gonna let you know when you're in the wrong. Someone who's not just gonna enable you and just be like you know how they say yes man. Yeah, someone who's not just going to agree with every single thing you do, even if it's wrong. if you could have somebody that you can trust to hold you accountable, but do it in a way that's out of, they're looking to better you instead of just doing it out of trying to tear you down or doing it out of pride. That's the first thing that comes to mind. I just think of accountability in that. But I mean, what about y'all?
I think of like, I agree with that, the accountability thing, because like, if they not letting you know when you're wrong, are they really your friends? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also like, trust has to be built too.
Yeah, facts.
It has to be built. Like,
it's not something that's just automatically there.
Facts. So,
yeah, it's like a steady progress. Like,
it's like in a relationship, it's the same thing. It has to be built.
Yeah, it's definitely a thinking question.
Yeah, it really is. I really.
Yeah, it really makes you think because, like you were saying, it's something that's built over time. But at the same time, you could have just met somebody and y'all have only been friends for a year, but y'all build a relationship where you trust that person versus somebody who you may have known for 10 years and you may trust the person you've only known for a year more than the person you've known for 10 years. So like you were saying, I think it's more about the experiences y'all have than the duration of the friendship.
That's true.
And so it's about kind of like, not saying you have to test your friends, but at the same time, kind of take a close look at who's holding you accountable, who has your best interests at heart, who's going to let you know when you're doing something good, when you're doing something that's not good, and other things like that. But yeah.
Yeah. And I do really think it is a big part in like a friendship with that trust. I know I'm saying the word in what I'm explaining, but just trust is like you said, accountability, somebody you can go to with just about anything or everything and know that they will keep you accountable of whatever it is and that you see that growth in yourself and within them.
Yeah. And to build off what you just said too, someone you can go with anything, someone who you can trust that's not gonna go and air out what you just told them.
Right.
Like if you have something that's been like heavy on you and stuff, and you trust this person to keep that. It's not even about keeping a secret. It's just about because keeping a secret sounds sketchy.
It's being respectful.
Yeah.
Like it's being respectful to that person.
Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes I tell Michael all the time, even if you don't feel comfortable talking to your parents or anybody, you can always talk to me, and I'm not gonna even to my parents. There are some things that my brothers could tell me that it'll just be between us. Like I won't share with anybody because it's not my information to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think that too builds that trust in friendship. So yeah, that was good. Yeah.
And also adding on to that, because you said something. Like when you go to this person and you tell them something, like they won't judge you or just make you feel bad about telling them these things. And them giving that advice to you, knowing that they'll help you understand everything, that you're saying with them. So that builds on it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't make you feel bad about it. Because, information at the end of the day, like, we've seen, like, and obviously we're not celebrities, but we've seen what even a small piece of information can do to somebody's reputation and stuff.
Yeah.
And so...
quickly.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it's definitely about that trust, and not saying that, not saying that you should be out here doing stuff that would damage your reputation, but just like small things, like, hey, I've I'm talking to this girl or talking to this dude. They did something and I don't know how to deal with it. What is your advice on this? Or, just other things like that. So yeah, I think overall that all combines to build trust and friendships and stuff. And so, yeah.
Are you gonna keep going?
Oh no, you good.
Also, like keeping it real with the person. Just it's kind of similar to accountability, but like always tell the truth. Like no matter how bad you think it's gonna make them feel. Like I feel like that builds it too when you keeping it real with them. Like no matter, it could be like it could probably end the friendship if you tell them like how you feel. But as long as you kept it real, it's like it's like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no hindsight. Like it's not like, man, I wish because let's say you don't tell them and the friendship ends anyway. It's like, man, if I had told them this earlier, maybe it could have said, because maybe
changed.
Because maybe that friend is doing something that didn't sit well with you. Maybe you don't really like what they're doing. Right. So it's better to be like, hey, I don't really think that you're in the right here. Let's talk about it, man to man or woman to woman, instead of just letting it keep building up. And then next thing you know, the feather falls on the branch and then it breaks.
Right. But
yeah, I think that all combines to, build that trust and friendship and stuff like that.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. What do you have? I know you had some.
Oh.
You had some on your end too.
Let me see. I believe it was.
I like this. We got to do this more often.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Y'all got to send the questions. Come on. Next time y'all got to send questions.
Yeah, y'all gotta come through.
Yeah, we didn't get too many questions, but y'all got to send these questions. Come on.
Y'all gotta come through. So somebody asked me.
And also just letting you, we're not experts in anything. You can take what we're saying, or you can agree or not agree, but we're not claiming to be experts about anything. We're just speaking from like our experiences, things that our parents may have told us, or family may have told us. So nothing we're saying may be 100% or 0% right. We're just speaking on what we know of the subject and everything. So take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, my bad.
Nah, you're good. Somebody asked, like, they said biggest motivator. So I'm taking that as like, who is your biggest motivator? So
want to kick that off?
I can.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. My biggest motivator is my mom. Yeah. I mean, of course, you got, I say my parents, but my mom is like, yeah, she's the one. She's like Superwoman. Like I said in the other episode.
Yeah, I remember you said
she's
that.
Like,
yeah.
She makes everything, anything possible, anything happen. And like she's like very like hardworking, and I look up to her. I feel like and then also like she does it all while, taking care of like me and my brother. So it's like dang, I really look up to her, and I wanna be like her, when I grow up. Mm-hmm. But I also wanna carry those traits like as I grow up too,
Yeah.
Being like having that work ethic, having that getting everything done and all that stuff like that. But I look up to my dad too. He's also like hardworking and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be the man I am today if it wasn't for them too, honestly. So
yes, sir. Shout out to Unc. Shout out to Auntie.
Facts.
Nah, yeah, I'm the same way, man. I was trying to I was trying to think of something different, but I can't because it's my parents too.
Right.
Because you already know how my dad is. Like, for one, we share the same name. So it's already kind of like that built-in connection with him. And then I'm kind of a combination of both of them. My dad, he can be strict and he could be all about business, which I get like that sometimes. And then my mom, she's like the nurturer. She, takes care of the home. She makes the house a home. Right. And, she plays a bunch of different roles and everything. So I try to take things from both of them. But, and you can, I don't even know the word. You can attest to this. I always tell them, that's literally like what I do it for. Obviously I do it for my faith. I do it for the Lord. That's my biggest motivator in terms of how hard I work and things I do. But second comes, the family. I want to be in a position where I can help them out, where they don't have to worry about, much as they get older and stuff. And so just seeing them and the sacrifices that they've made, even sometimes we would be when we were in college in the dorms, so when they would come on the weekend, our mom would have packed like a big box of snacks for us and drinks and stuff. Just like, and if our house, she keeps those things like deep, like those things are like hidden. So the fact that shows that she took the time to go pull all of those out in the storage and stuff and pack them for us. So yeah, those are my biggest motivators, man. Just seeing them and how hard they work, how hard they go for their family, and just aspiring to be like that for mine in the future.
I can agree. So with all of those, like, of course, the Lord, the parents, but one of them is different, is you're like one of my biggest motivators in just, we're still young and all that, but seeing that growth that you have made in such like a short amount of time, honestly, in a few years, that motivates me in different things I do, keep my mind straight on this, get closer to God, deeper in my faith, and just like the connections that y'all look at, that he has with with my brothers. We have 3 younger brothers, so just seeing all them together, him, doing these different things with them, that just, it's motivating, it's good to see. So yeah.
Dang, how does that make you feel?
You see that?
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, because the biggest compliments I've ever gotten was never about my beard, because a lot of people compliment my beard. Yeah, they say you look like you work out and stuff. All these like physical compliments, but the best compliments I've ever gotten was ones that were based on the impact that I've made on other people. Because there's only, I can grow a beard all I want. That's not really helping anybody.
It's not.
Except, looking good beside my future wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that's the number one thing. Because I told my brothers this the other day, one of my favorite words is the word joy. And the way I think about joy is Jesus, others, then yourself. Right? So it's Jesus first, then others next, then yourself last. Not saying you have to not care for yourself, but it just does something different when you could help, kind of like our episode, Winning at Life. When I asked you what does winning at life mean to you, the first thing you said was like helping others win. And so, nice. You've done a lot of things, like these shades right here, Tainted Vision. That's all this guy right here, him and one of his friends, they started this, and this is a little commercial break, by the way. Tainted Vision, shades. These are the new generation things right here. This is going to change the game. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be big right here. Make sure you cop a pair. I'm going to make sure to put all the links in the description. Make sure y'all go cop a pair of these shades. They're going to make you look good. You can check out his Instagram page. I'm on there with some of the shades on there. He's on there with the shades on there. Make sure you cop a pair. I'm telling y'all, these things are going to change the game. You're going to see these things on every big name out there.
Appreciate it, man.
But yeah, I mean, because the support I've seen you get from this, I think you can attribute that to you having a desire to help others win. You know what I mean? Because when you help other people, and not saying you do it to receive help, but people are just naturally going to support you because they're like, man, Josh was with me with this. Josh helped me with this. He's starting this business. Let me help him out with that. So yeah, those are the biggest compliments, I think. Just when the biggest compliment I can ever get from anybody is thank you. Like, if I helped you with something and you say thank you, I'm cool. You made my day.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's what's up. Yeah, biggest motivators. Shout out to the parents, and there's a lot of other motivators out there too.
That's
our parents,
a lot.
Yeah, like so many, people in the church. Some of y'all in the church. Obviously, our extended family. We come from a really good family, so there's just so many people. Yeah, let's dive into this next question. What is the hardest thing about each of your fields? Let's start with you, teacher, because you talk about this all the time.
All right. So
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
She's a teacher, by the way.
I am a teacher, first grade teacher. Y'all know this. I'm a teacher. I enjoy teaching. That is one of my passions. I'll tell a little story about how I got into teaching. Just a little, So first, I enjoyed being around kids and doing, being around them, helping them with things. I always wanted to be a inspiration to these kids' life and impact them. That was my main word, impact. So I wanted to be a pediatrician, and then I got this summer job at a camp, and there was one day this girl, she left, she wasn't there for a week, and the director, she asked me to lead one of the classes, and at first I was nervous because I've always people say I was a leader, but I wasn't really confident in it, And I was like, I don't know how I'll be. But as soon as I got in front, let me tell you, it just felt natural. It felt good. So that's where I am now. I'm a teacher. Finished my first year.
Yeah.
But one of the hardest things, some people would think it's dealing with the kids. It's really not. I have a lot of patience with the kids. It's just the balance between the work, like your home life, and different things like doing within the school. So just keeping that balance, staying organized and on top of things, not procrastinating, because I procrastinated a lot in my college days. But, just staying on top of everything and making sure always the kids are the first priority and on top of everything. But, just that balance of everything. That was one of my struggles this first year. But they say the first year you learn a lot. So I learned a lot, and there's going to be a lot of modifications.
Dang.
All right, Mr. Entrepreneur. What's the hardest thing about being an entrepreneur?
The hardest thing, I love it. I wouldn't say nothing is hard about it. Actually, let me stop. It's not hard to the point where it's like, I can't handle it, but
yeah.
First thing I would say was like the balance thing, because you can you get caught up. You gotta balance. Okay, you gotta balance business, and you gotta balance your life, like your normal life. You know what I mean? So like right now, I'm in school too, so I gotta balance. This school and like everything outside of that, like my social life, my home life, like family, all that. I say that's probably the biggest thing. Other than that, it's like, as an entrepreneur, you don't you really don't know you don't know what's gonna come out of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you don't. it's not like when you so when you go to work, it's like you're guaranteed to make like a salary. You know what I mean? Guaranteed. It's like you know whether you could go to work and you know exactly how much you're gonna make like per hour at the end of the day, at the end of the week. Mm-hmm. Like as an entrepreneur, you just don't know. No matter you could put in more hours in a week than you did at a regular job, and it's like you still don't know. You still don't know how much you're gonna
that's
make
true
in the outcome. But it's not. I'm not saying it's about money either. I kind of see it as like, the hours you do put in, and if you don't see the results that you want to see, you still got something out of it. Something that you learn, something that you can take, and also like you can use it to perfect your craft later on down the road. But yeah, that's what I would say is like what was it?
It's the hardest thing about
the hardest
your field.
Thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it though.
Yeah, I never even thought about that because with a salary, it's you don't have to worry about getting paid on Friday. You don't have to worry about that. But with entrepreneurship, there's definitely some risk in that because you could invest more than what your profit is and stuff. So yeah, that makes sense, man. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so I guess for me, as y'all know, I do civil engineering. The hardest thing for that isn't necessarily the work. It's kind of just trying, and this is like me personally, it's trying to figure out ways to fit in and to relate, because it's I mean, I'm in the minority, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so and a lot of the people that I work with, a lot of their interests aren't interests that I grew up doing. They are fun, like golf. I've grown to enjoy playing golf. I've played it a few times with them, and they're doing a float day this Friday, which y'all know I don't do water. I just don't do water. I can't.
Y'all remember?
Yeah.
Y'all remember that one time?
When?
What was it? That Whitewater Center?
Yeah.
He fell in. Was you there?
Yeah,
she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I fell in the water.
Yeah, I actually stayed calm. I don't know how, but because usually I would panic, but with that time I was actually calm. Yeah. But yeah, just being on a float in the water, like on a river for 2 to 3 hours, I just can't. But yeah, the most difficult thing for me was just kind of figuring out how to be more involved with the people at the company while also staying true to who I am, because I don't want to involve myself in things that I don't necessarily want to do just to fit in. But at the same time, I think sometimes you have to make a sacrifice and try new things, because you never know if you may enjoy doing it. And so it's just about finding that balance of staying true to who I am, but also opening the door to new opportunities of finding out things that I may have never thought I enjoyed doing. So yeah, I would say that's the hardest thing for me. But the work isn't really, it's straightforward. You learn everything there. It's just about that balance between integrating myself with the people in the company. And plus I'm already, a state of myself type of person. Yeah. I like being I don't want to say alone, but I like being in isolation, because that's where I can really, take the time to study and stuff and, really stimulate my brain. But yeah, that's definitely I would say that's the hardest thing in that. Yeah. All right, man. You got another one?
Yeah, I do.
I like this. We might have to do. We're probably not going to get to all the questions, but we'll definitely do a part 2. Because I think this is cool. I enjoy doing this. But if we didn't get to your question, I apologize. But we'll most likely be doing a part 2 sometime at a later date. So keep sending those questions in. We appreciate that.
Just I feel like we answered this already, but like,
is it kind of the?
It's kind of similar to the biggest motivator.
Oh,
kinda,
okay.
So like,
all right, I could do. I got some more
because it says like basically like what inspires you to be like be the greatest version of yourself. It's kind of like, I mean, my answer is probably gonna be the same, but if y'all like,
I mean, something I've really been trying to tap into over the past few months has been growing in wisdom. Yeah. That's like one of my biggest goals. Cause I think a lot of times, a lot of people, and it definitely comes with this. A lot of people think wisdom just comes from experience or being older, but sometimes you can gain wisdom just by studying people, studying the Bible, just reading books, watching videos, other things like that. So I've just been trying to grow in his wisdom as much as possible. And, when some people ask me, who am I? Something I like to say is I'm a student of life. And so I don't like my experience to go to waste. I always want to gain something from it, and not in a selfish way, but just growing as a person. So I've been trying to grow in wisdom. And plus it's really, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's available. Like wisdom is available because Bible tells us, what does it say? The principal thing is wisdom, therefore get wisdom. And with all that getting, get understanding. So it's there.
Right.
It's just a matter of, are you taking the time to try and grow into it? So that's kind of something that's been motivating me to be a better me every day. But
I like that.
Yeah. And she's always looking at me with the weird face saying, why are you always saying wise things? Blah, blah, blah.
I'm just joking.
Yo,
when I say that,
that's hard though. Like,
yeah, it's hard. Like with every response I'm just joking with that.
Because my thing is
but he's always been like that.
Yeah.
Like even when we was kids, you bro, you have always been like that. It's nothing wrong with that. I'm like, it's a great thing. Yeah. But like you've always been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, literally. I remember when you said you was like, he forgot about something, right? He said, I forget. I was like, all right, this when we was kids, so I didn't like, my vocabulary wasn't, that good. He said, I forget. I was like, yo.
Who says that?
I was like, yo, he said, I forget. That's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And even this thing right here, I just write a bunch of different quotes in here, man.
See that?
Like pages upon pages.
Bro, show the
show
the camera, bro.
That's wild. I carry this thing everywhere I go. Cause that's why I said I'm a student of life. Cause if I hear somebody say something and I think, it's like profound or just something that's interesting or something that I like, I just carry this thing around and write it down in here. And
that's lit, bro.
The reason I do that is because it makes, let's say there's a situation and someone may be going through something or someone just may need, you only have so many hours in the day. I can't always have a long lecture. So if I can summarize it in like one wise quote or one witty saying or something like that, I think that can go a long way. So I wrote down a bunch of stuff and a lot of the things I say, they're in here. I just write them down.
That's hard.
But yeah, that's something that I've really been, doing, just trying to grow in wisdom and everything. Plus the direction that I'm going in ministry and stuff. Yeah. I feel like some parts of that is necessary for that too. But yeah, next question. Do you have any regrets in your life?
That's wild.
I could start. I mean,
yeah.
Well, okay. One of my regrets, and I really don't like thinking too much about regrets. Let's go Bible here real quick.
Yeah.
Y'all know
let's tap in.
This is my favorite book right here. Isaiah 43:18. I don't really like thinking about regrets too much. Isaiah 43:18 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past."
Facts.
I don't really try to think too much about the past, but I also think it's healthy to reflect. So I don't like the word regret. I like the word reflect. And so something that I've reflected upon in my life was my lack of trying to network in college. And when I say network, I mean like just talking to people and befriending people, because I was always kind of in my room just studying, which obviously there's nothing wrong with, but I think it also kind of gets to a point where you definitely want to have a community of people that you can talk to, kind of like what we talked about at the beginning, trust and friendship. And, you know, I definitely did have friends in college. Don't get it twisted. If you're listening to this and we were friends in college, you know, we were friends.
we still locked in.
And we're still friends. But at the same time, I never really, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but I had friends in college, but I never really, you know, sometimes they'll be like, hey, we're doing this. I'll be like, I gotta study. It got to the point where I would make myself busy, even though I knew I could probably do this and still have time. But I was like, I made myself busy because I just didn't really like going out that much. Mm-hmm. And so if I could go back, I would definitely try and meet more people in college and, you know, build more relationships with people and stuff like that. Because my dad is actually the one who showed me how easy it is to talk to people. You know how he is. He'll just talk to random people.
That's how my dad is too.
He'll just talk to random people. And I think sometimes we think people are a lot meaner than they actually are.
That's facts.
I don't think obviously there's people that out here that aren't, you know, that are mean and stuff that don't want to talk to you. But for the most part, I think most people would at least say what's up if you say what's up to them. And so I wish I had done that a lot more in college, but that's something that I've reflected on. But what about y'all?
Like, I agree with you on that one. Like
like the reflecting thing, or
that and like, you know, like in college, kind of like getting out there more. I mean, I'd say I made a lot of good friends in college, but as far as like, you would say they would ask you if you wanted to do something, and like even if you knew you could like make it, you'll still say like no. You know what I mean? Just because you wanted to.
Yeah.
I've been like that sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Like, if you know, if you want to be by yourself, sometimes you just want to be by yourself.
And we all need that, you know, time for ourselves and
'cause
the me time.
That's what I'm saying. 'Cause like I'm pretty sure, have y'all had like different friend groups in college or whatnot? You know what I mean? Like you would have would have a group.
Mm-hmm.
So like how my friends were, I had like certain groups that would do like different things. So it would be like, all right, let's say one day, okay, let's say like Monday one of my friend groups will actually go bowling. Second day, the other friend group actually go to the movies. Third day, let's say they'll actually go to like Carowinds or something. Like, dang, I'm drained. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just can't do all of it. But back to the question, like you said, what's the biggest regret in life?
Yeah, or do you have any regrets in your life? Yeah.
As of now, I would say no, because I feel like you learn from everything that happens. That's why when you said reflect, it's like, yeah, like that's real. Cause like the younger me, I would be like, dang, I wish I could go back and, you know, I wish I ain't go back and talk to that girl, or I wish I can go back and do this as a kid. But as I've gotten older, it's like a lot of things, it's like, bro, imagine if that didn't happen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how would life, how would you have learned from that is what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't have any regrets, but I certainly do. Like, I think about what has happened, and I like, you know, I take what I take from it, basically.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I just take from it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's things that, you know, it's things that I wish probably didn't happen, but it's like, I mean, not a time traveler or nothing.
Yeah.
It's life,
back.
man.
It's life.
Yeah. To build off that, I was gonna say something similar, like nothing specific, you know, a regretful thing or thing I wish didn't happen in my life, but just knowing that happened and knowing, I mean, you could always think about it and say, oh, what could I have done differently? But actually learning from it, I feel like that grew me a little more. So I knew, like I said, what should I do differently, or how could I grow from that situation and, you know, make it better, you know, later on if something like that does happen again. But with me, I mean, with this one, we are who we are. Like me, I'm a shy, non-spoken person, you know. So there's some situations in which I could have spoken up and not been such of a people say people pleaser, you know. So like, I feel like definitely my voice has grown, like in the way I could speak against or speak towards something, you know, or taking advantage of situations that have been put in front of me and, you know, making it right. So just, I don't know, all from that, it just grows you. You learn from it, you know.
Facts.
And to add to that point about speaking up, I think
yes,
a lot of people speak, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people speak, but they don't use their voice, if that makes sense. So like, for example, let's say I'm involving myself in something I may not agree with, and I'm like talking about it and speaking about it, and it's not coming from kind of like what you were saying, you know, speaking up about things and just kind of staying back and stuff. There's a difference between just speaking and using your voice. Kind of like the other day, right? When I'll just go ahead and share. I'm gonna be honest. Just even DMing somebody, right? Someone that you're attracted to. I used to say what I thought would be the right thing to say what I thought would be smooth, say what I thought would be cool. And I was speaking, but I wasn't using my voice though, right? And so I talked to you, and we all talked about this a few weeks ago before I took my exam and stuff, just about how I was this next message I was gonna send to this individual, it was gonna be how I would speak, just how I would talk in general. And obviously, y'all know how that went. But, I mean, it felt good, though, not having any regrets about it. Because it was the most real message I had sent to anybody that I was interested in. And so, yeah, I think that's important. That's another one, something for myself, too. You know, I wish I had started using my voice a lot earlier instead of trying to just speak how others want me to speak, and instead just speaking, you know, the real me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which has, you know,
Thanks.
which earns you a lot more respect in the long run. But yeah, that was good. That was good.
It was. I told you, bro. Like, hey, if she don't respond, I mean, shoot.
Yeah, it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it
It
is.
is what it is.
All right. Next question. I really like this question. I think this is going to be a deep question.
Yeah, okay.
He about to
What
go off.
Is having an ego good, bad, or both? Let's see what y'all have to say first.
Is having an ego good, bad, or both?
Yeah.
Bruh.
Such a big ego.
Who made that again?
No, with me, like when I hear words and stuff, I associate it to songs that I heard. But that was Beyonce.
It's like PBS Kids.
Beyonce.
Huh? What is that? Where's that?
That was
from?
Beyonce.
Oh,
Such a huge ego.
that's new or something. I thought it was from like PBS Kids or something. Nah, like I could have sworn I heard that. It's kids.
Man, that's a deep question. Is having an ego good, bad, or both?
Ego.
Well, let's define ego.
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
So, ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, according to the Oxford Dictionary.
And let's use it in a sentence. If Kanye West has a big ego.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that being said, now is having an ego good, bad, or both? I guess I can.
Mom's probably gonna be broad.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
I'm gonna say like it's
A little both.
yeah,
I feel like
you
it's a
know,
little
but
both.
it's more like
it depends how you use it or how it's used, if that makes sense.
it's a slippery slope for sure.
it's kind of
Yeah.
it's. I mean, you know. I don't want to get canceled. I mean, like, you know, it's good. It's good. Like, I know certain people who do have like, you know, ego. It's like, all right, I'm gonna just say this: it's good sometimes and it's bad sometimes.
Yeah.
It's good. More so, it's more so of like, I'll say it's more so bad. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Like, is it good, like, within yourself and then how it's used out with other people?
I say.
Or, like, it brings challenges at times and...
Are you saying, are you asking, is it good within yourself or with other people? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's kind of like a asked out question. Like,
isn't it like it's kind of similar to like being conceited, right?
I think
in a way,
I think it could. Yeah, it could.
So
it could
like,
branch into that.
I'm saying it's good and bad. I mean, of course, people. It's not good to it's not good. But
yeah.
I'm gonna just let y'all.
go.
Nah, so So I think it's bad in any circumstance. And the reason I say that is because I think a lot of people confuse ego and confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
I think confidence is a good thing. I think ego is a bad thing. Okay. Because I think ego hangs more on the side of me. And confidence is more on the side of I believe in myself.
Yeah.
I think ego is more about. I think ego is more about. I think ego is more about. Okay, ego brings others into the conversation and puts them below you, I think. Whereas I think confidence is just about you believing in yourself that you can do this, or having confidence that God can do it for you and stuff like that.
Facts.
And so I think it's bad, but only because it gets confused a lot.
Yeah.
And so kind of like what you were saying with it being good and bad.
Yeah, like
I think the good part is confidence.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was getting at, cuz like cuz it's good. It's like it's good to have confidence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's also like it is giving like conceited a little bit, and that's not good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
think I was.
It's like you're the like you the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was thinking toward that way too, kind of getting the confusion of it. Because when I asked, like, is it good, like, within yourself? So I guess that's the confidence of believing in yourself, and then toward like putting it with other people. That's when the ego takes into play.
Yeah. And the reason I really like this question is because it's something that I kind of struggle with at times. Cause y'all know my life.
Transparent.
Yeah, man. I let it be known. Yeah. But y'all know my life. Y'all know what I got going on for myself. Y'all know I've been blessed to be in a good position in life.
Right.
And you know, I'm gifted as well in terms of just, you know, there haven't been many things that I've done in my life that I was unsuccessful at.
Bro, I told you. You keep I was just telling him that the other day. I was like, bro.
He was.
I was like, bro. Come on now.
when I took my test, he had asked me, how many tests have you realistically failed in your life?
Like, yeah, let's be real. You too. How many tests have y'all failed?
Man.
Y'all don't like, bro. Come on now. Y'all are like scholars.
And that's why I like this question, because it's something that I've struggled with sometimes, because I'll go Bible again on this one, right? Same. Proverbs 27:21 says, the crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise.
Right.
So this is something I asked. He is the leader of M28, Sam. I had him on here a while ago. And I asked him, has anybody ever doubted you? And he was like, not really, not to my face and stuff. I can't name anybody who's ever doubted me. I've only ever received praise. You know, for my first sermon. That's crazy. Oh, you look like you've been up there for a long time, you know, all this stuff. And that's good. I appreciate that. You know, kind of like what you were saying with the tests. Man, how many tests have you failed?
I'm serious.
Like the family, like every time I go to grandma's, like when the aunts are there, they're always saying good things and stuff. And I appreciate that.
Right.
Right. But it's something that can really test you. Right. And that's why I like this verse so much. It says the crucible for silver, the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. Right. You can either go one of two ways with praise. You could either turn it and channel it and manifest it into an ego and borderline narcissism, or you can kind of not necessarily brush it off, but just say, thank you, I appreciate that, and still understand that there's no way you did it by yourself. And that's why I don't really like when people say self-made millionaire or self-made billionaire, because I don't think there's such thing. Because even if you did it by yourself, people still got to watch your content. People still got to buy your product. People still got to support you. People are still doing it, right? So and I'm not saying people that say that have egos, but I think we always have to know our place. We didn't do anything on our own.
Facts.
Right? And so all of these gifts and stuff and all this praise, I kind of just let it bounce off of me and just go up to God, because it's him. Like I know there's this saying like it's him and I'm him, or he's him.
I'm him, her.
I don't like to say I'm him. I like to say he's him.
Right.
Because it's him who's doing it for me. I wouldn't be anywhere without that. You know what I mean? And so to kind of answer this question, I don't think there's a scenario where you can say ego is a good thing.
Right.
I mean, it can help you in the sense that maybe your ego helped you reach the top and become a CEO of something, or maybe your ego helped you channel like a motivation in you. But I don't think that's very healthy, and I don't think that's healthy in the long run, because it's always going to lead to you having whether it's intentional or not, it's always going to lead to you thinking that you're above other people, when in reality, nobody's above anybody in any situation. And so that question was a heavy hitter, bro, because
it's like you knew.
Yeah.
It's like he just knew what to say.
I know.
Like,
yeah, man, because I tell people all the time, the thing I try to avoid more than anything else is pride. Because when you think about it, we all know that, the Bible in Ezekiel, and I think some places, a place in Isaiah as well, it talks about how Satan's pride led to his downfall, right? So if you think about it, the first we hear of Satan is in the garden, and he's the snake. He makes makes Eve eat the fruit. Adam eats the fruit. How did Satan get there? Pride, right? Pride leads to downfall, I believe, 100% of the time. So I try to avoid pride as much as possible, which is why I appreciate praise. But as soon as I feel an ounce of it turning into pride or ego, I immediately humble myself, because the exalted will be humbled, the humble will be exalted. So that's how I view it.
I think we done. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, man, because I'm just passionate about that. And I didn't mean to take over, but
we enjoyed it.
I really like that.
That's real though.
Yeah. I really like that question, because I think that I think that's kind of like a cheat code, just trying to avoid having that ego, because the ego is always gonna lead you down a path that you don't want to be on. So yeah, I mean, y'all got anything to add to that?
Nah, you got it, bro. That was well.
I guess we got time for one more question.
Okay.
This is more of like a kind of like a culture question. But it says, has Hollywood fell off, or has the music industry fell off too?
Let me talk.
Yeah, this is where you cook, man. Cook.
So look. I'm gonna just speak on like music. So I feel like music, has it fell off? Yes. Yes, it has. Very bad. I feel like now, don't get me wrong, it's still good music. Like the music that's being put out is still good.
Yeah.
It's just not the same how it used to be. I feel like artists back then, across like all genres, they actually like cared about making good music. Now it's just, I think now it's like, okay, what's gonna be the next hit? What's gonna blow me up? What's gonna get me into a record deal or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's falling off for sure. I feel like now it's only like a select few who actually put art into their music and actually try. Like let's be real, like it's some people right now who just like, I'm not gonna name them, but like,
yeah,
I think he said like a sentence throughout the whole song, like, and it's like double platinum right now. Like, he didn't say nothing throughout the song. It was just a sentence repeated throughout the song.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's a select few who still make, like, quality music, though. I'm going to be real. I still, like, the music now, though, is catchy. So,
yeah.
I'm going to still listen to it, but is it the same as it was? No. But let's be real, it's very catchy music now. Like, you got the boom, 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 boom. You got the harmonizing in the back.
Yeah.
Like, it's straight. I was gonna say something else. Oh yeah, like in Hollywood too. I hear so much stuff about Hollywood. It's like, I heard it's like haunted there. Like if you ever go there, you're like haunted or something like that. But yeah, that's off topic. But yeah, that's my input.
Yeah.
Speaking on the music side, I love music. I listen closely to the lyrics of songs and like get deep into what it's talking about and the meaning and everything. So, of course, a lot of people compare like, back then music with the ones now, and they say back then they had like a real love for music. Not saying none of the people now don't. I mean, it's just the main people you see on the TVs, on the tops. They bring out, like you said, catchy and
one sentence.
Yeah.
One sentence got those
music. So, of course, it's catchy, and you're going to dance to it, do all the little TikTok dances and stuff like that. But just that, I don't know, the love. Like I said, I love lyrics and the meanings. So,
exactly. Like, people.
Just.
Yeah. Yeah, I think something that's missing a lot more so now than maybe even as close as 5 years ago is just more passion for their craft. Because I think there's a lot of people, and not just in music, but in anything, I feel like there's a lot of people that do things because they're good at it, but they don't really have the heart for it. Like, they don't really have a passion for it. Like me, for example, basketball is my favorite sport, but I was always better at football. And so if I had, like I used to want to go to the NFL. Yeah. But the only reason I would say NFL more than NBA is because there was a better chance. I mean, obviously the chance was very slim, but there was a better chance. And so my heart would have never really been in the NFL because I'm more of I'm not like a physical person. Like I don't like hitting people. I don't like, if necessary, I will, protect my family, but I just don't have the heart to just be hitting people and be violent like that. And I mean, not saying it's violent because you want to hurt people, but some people just enjoy hitting tackling people.
Like who?
Like just in the NFL, like there was this guy. Like, Ray Lewis?
Yes, man.
Ray Lewis love hitting people. Patrick Willis love hitting people. Shout out to Jacob. Patrick Willis is Jacob's dude. But yeah, and my heart just wouldn't have been in it, but it would have been something that I just was good at. But yeah, going back to like the music thing and even the Hollywood thing, I feel like a lot of people see the benefits in terms of popularity and financial freedom, but a lot of people that are doing that don't even really like, because think about it, a lot of the rappers nowadays, or a good amount, they were like, they didn't really talk to people. They were kind of, by themselves. Like they didn't really have a social life, at least from what I've heard from some of them. But then they, and maybe they do enjoy performing on the stage. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just using that as an example. Some people may not like that spotlight, but it's just how they, make it and stuff. But I agree with what y'all said though. Just I have a preference for older music. Like I like listening to like older music and
I know.
Yeah. But I agree though. Yeah.
It's true. Don't get me wrong though, like the music now is like, bruh, it's not bad.
Yeah.
They just don't try or whatever.
Yeah. And that's when we were doing your episode, when we were talking about the label and everything, something I said is I appreciate the fact that y'all like take it seriously. I can tell that y'all have a heart for it, and that's why I think there's longevity in it. Because I think, you know, Dr. Martin Luther King, he said longevity has its place. I think when you have a heart for something and you put your all into it, I think it in a lot of ways it acts like a magnet and it attracts people to it. Like I think people appreciate when someone's passionate about something versus when someone's just kind of just throwing something out there. And so I think that's where longevity comes, when you have a heart for something. Because there's a lot of people that have made music that, you know, you don't you don't hear about anymore. And then there's some people that have been doing it for years upon years, and they're still you know, doing a lot. So yeah, I think with that heart and everything comes longevity. But as far as Hollywood and music falling off, I wouldn't say it's necessarily fallen off, but it's just evolved.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I think it's just evolved.
That's a good way to put
it. And I mean, that's just life. It's going to evolve. I mean, 150, 200 years ago, I mean, did lights exist? When was the light created? I don't know. But
I don't know.
Over time, with all this new technology and stuff, we just have to adapt, and you know, that's just what it is, you know. And so it's evolved. How are we going to adapt to it? And yeah, but I don't know.
Talked about that. That's funny. Adapting, because changes happen all through our life and things evolve, like you said. But
yeah,
gotta adapt to it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just like these, just like the like everything going up, like gas, taxes,
Yes.
House prices.
Yes.
Everything going up. You just
Living.
you can't do nothing about it.
Right.
So
Yeah, just adapt and pray.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, there were some other questions there too. But you know, we've reached the time. But like I said, definitely want to do a part 2. I think this was interesting. I think, you know, just having all of our different perspectives on stuff. I think it was a great conversation. And you know, again, I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed it.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was fun.
But yeah, shameless plugs. Josh, talk about your shades real quick, man. Tell the people if you don't have a pair, you need to get into the game now.
Look.
Hop in early, because the price is gonna go up eventually. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to speak for y'all, but they're gonna blow up. You don't want to be late to the party. But yeah, my bad.
Nah, you good, bro. So, boom, Tainted Vision. The VIP collection is out right now. Go make sure you cop. We actually having a wait. When is it gonna be uploaded?
Stay tuned.
All right, yeah.
Stay tuned.
We having that's relevant. Make sure y'all cop the VIP collection. We have another collection dropping soon. Taintedvision.co, TAINTEDVISION.co. And yeah, support the brand. I appreciate it, y'all. Yeah,
Make sure y'all get yourself a pair.
for sure.
Shameless plugs. Do you have anything?
What's
You want to
shameless
shout out? It's just like,
You just call her.
yeah, it's just like
Shameless
shouting out. Shouting out what you got going on. Shouting out what you got going on without any shame.
I thought it was like I'm tripping. I thought it was like a
Oh, like a thing?
yeah, like
Brand or
that was like a
something?
nickname or something.
Oh,
I don't really have anything to shout out.
yeah. Well,
Like,
she sings. So when we do our individual episode, I'm gonna have her sing a song at the end. But yeah, I think that's I think that's it. But if you made it this far, if you made it to the end of this episode, I appreciate you for listening. Appreciate you for tuning in. Appreciate your patience for the break that we were taking and everything. And you know, it's such a blessing to have this platform to be able to just bring some of these thoughts, some of these things, and everything to life. You know, and once again, you're not just part of the story, but you are the story, and it's truly a blessing to have y'all here listening. If you haven't yet, make sure you go follow on the Instagram. I don't know if I've shouted this out yet, but the Instagram name has changed from You Are Story Podcast to The Reclassified Ministries. I'm going to have it pop up like somewhere over here on the screen, but you can pause it and go check it out. But it's at The Reclassified Ministries. And yeah, if you've been listening to some of the other episodes, I've talked about what The Reclassified means. And so make sure to check some of those out, or I'll talk about it in another episode at a later date. But I also have my blog, thereclassified.com, where I post different blogs on there, different things that the Lord's placed in my heart to share, some of my studies and things that I've been doing. I'm going to try and start getting back into that, be more consistent with that. But more of those blogs will be coming soon, but that's at thereclassified.com. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube has also changed. It's at The Reclassified. I think it's at The Reclassified. I hope
YouTube?
so. Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I'll put it over here, so everything will be there, and everything will be in the description as well. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't even have to worry. You're already, just go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, leave a comment. If you have any ideas for other episodes, or if you want another Q&A episode like that, you could just send in questions. Maybe I'll even do a live stream one day and just do it live instead of doing it pre-recorded, and just have y'all comment while the episode is going on. I think that'll be pretty cool. We're at 92 subscribers right now.
Yay.
Let's hit 100, people. Let's hit 100. You know, I appreciate those who have subscribed, but there's a bigger percentage of those that are watching that aren't subscribed than there are that are subscribed. So please, if you just go that extra mile, support the brand, support the platform, and, you know, let's just do this thing. I feel like God has something special for this, and it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love talking about this stuff. I love having conversations with people. So let's hit 100 subscribers. That's all I ask.
It's free.
It's free. It's free, you know? And yeah, also make sure to, if you aren't watching on YouTube, if you're listening to a streaming service, make sure you follow on Spotify or follow on Apple Podcasts. It's at UR. It's the UR, the letter U, the letter R, and then story on both of those. Just check it out, and, you know, make sure if you're watching this right now or listening to it, take a screenshot, post it to your Instagram story or something, share it to some of your friends, your family, your church community, anything. It'll just be a great help. I'd appreciate that greatly. And then also, if you would like to be on the podcast, we can, and you're in this area, we can definitely set that up, or we can do a Zoom meeting or something like that. We're very versatile here, and we believe that everybody has a story, and somebody, at least one person, needs to hear it, and it'll impact them. So just doing a lot of great things here, and I continue to pray for y'all. I hope y'all continue to pray for me, and just that this podcast can help people see the Lord and hear the Lord's voice through it, and just grow in their faith, because that's what we're all about here. So once again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, sister. Thank you, cousin, for being here again. And we will see y'all next time. Peace out. Brr, brr.